Hello and a really warm welcome to another episode of the Money Mindset and Miracles podcast. I'm Rachel Smith, your host here, and I am absolutely delighted to introduce our next guest, who is Lisa Rees. Lisa is actually my go-to expert in her world of expertise, which is all things website. So let me just introduce Lisa formally, and then we'll get into her topic, which is going to be absolutely awesome today. Just to give you a little flavour of what Lisa's going to be talking about is that she's going to share with you how you can use your website as the hub of your business and how you can improve like leads and sales from your website, which I think is such an interesting topic and one that we're going to get into today. So let me do the formal bit first, just to set it into context. So Lisa is also known, well, I didn't give you your business name actually. Lisa is the founder of Wonderful World of Websites, but she's also known as a website Wonder Woman, and you're definitely going to get that in a minute. She's been running her business since 2015, and her mission is to help women to make the most out of their websites, to be able to, so that they can grow their businesses online. She specializes in WordPress website creation, support training, and strategy, focusing on making tech simple, non-scary, and as fun as possible. You're definitely going to get a flavor of that. So Lisa, I know your story, but it'd be really interesting for my audience to also just hear, now, how did you come to be this website expert and be running a successful business? Could you just share with us a little bit of that?
So when my younger daughter was younger, she's nearly 18, she's 18 next month now. When she was about 2 or 3, I had to leave work because she had an ongoing illness. Just before she started school, actually, so she must have been about 2. And then obviously when she went to school, she had lots of time off, but I had to look after her. And so being like the bored parent, because I'd always worked, I'd always done things with my brain, I took a course in websites and SEO, which turned into a blog about girls' party ideas. So the more I blogged, the more visitors I was getting. My kids loved it because they had parties every week, just so I could write a blog about them. But what happened then, I was getting about 40,000 visitors a month to this website after about a year. And I started putting a bit of affiliate marketing on, which is like little adverts and things like that. So I was getting a couple of £100 a month for it. Then my husband got made redundant, so we both had to apply for jobs, and I found a job first. So the website kind of fell to the wayside. I tried to start lots of businesses online because it was really difficult with my daughter's illness. One business I started was personalised chocolate wrappers. So I used to make the chocolate bar wrappers because I was quite creative. And I won a place on a WordPress course. So I created my own website with WordPress. I loved doing the chocolate bars, but there was so little money in it. And I was working loads of hours making tiny little chocolates as well. Like, you know, the little wedding favour type things and all that type of stuff. And it was just not really worth my while. So I kind of left the website stuff. And then in 2015, I was working in a pub at the time, and me and my husband split up, and we were split up with 5 years. We're back together now because everyone always asks me that. And someone said to me, "Oh, you need some extra money now. You're a single parent. Do you want to create your website?" So I was like, "Yeah." She said, "How much will you charge?" I said, "Oh, £50." And then she referred me to someone else, and I charged them 150. I thought, actually, I'm quite good at this because they kept referring me. So I went around local businesses and asked them if they wanted a website for £150 to create a portfolio. And they passed my details on, And 8 years later, people are still asking me.
But I'm pleased to say that your prices are
They're much higher now.
Yeah, I love that you were just like, oh, let's have and it's a lot like my own experience with business, is that I didn't really intend to run a business, very much felt like an accidental entrepreneur. And I think there's a real there's often like those points in our lives where actually working traditionally wasn't going to work for you, wasn't supporting your family's needs. And here you are now, this amazing website expert. And one of the things that you're going to talk to us about today is how we can really utilize our websites and help use that website as it's meant to be. And you must see this all the time, but I think lots of people just have it on their to-do list. Like, I need, I need a domain name, I need a website, I need to be on social media, I need to be creating content, and all of these things that people believe that they need, and it's like tick, 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 that's it, I can run a business now. But especially for service-based businesses, I think that often there's a missed opportunity to really use your website to drive sales to your business rather than just relying on social media. So can you talk us through how people can like really utilize their websites, Lisa?
I think you just hit the nail on the head, really, about where you said about service-based businesses. Because I always say, if you've got a shop or like an actual physical location, you do all these like advertising techniques to drive people to that shop. And it's exactly the same if you're working online, but that shop, that physical shop, would be online, your actual website. So all the other things that you do would be driving the traffic then to that website, which is like the home of your business. I think there's so many different things that you can do, but lots of people, they get stuck on the actual advertising things and the building of the relationships, but then they're not really sending them anyway. It's like bits everywhere. So to bring it all together, what I always say is the website is in the center of everything, and then all the other things you do should be driving people to there. Exactly the same as if you had a shop. But obviously it is your shop, I suppose, online, whether you're selling products, services, whatever. So things like social media, paid advertising, any referrals, search engine optimization, email marketing, all that sort of stuff that we do to get our business out there, and all those marketing efforts should be directed to one place. Only because if you're directing it to lots of different places, you're getting lots of bits of everything. But if you direct it all to one place, then they can all combine to really increase your marketing efforts. I know people who've just, I actually spoke to someone not long ago, and she said, I've got a website, but I don't actually need it. I'm really, really good on social media. And it's really great. And I get loads of people. So I haven't been using my website at all. And I actually spoke to her last week, and she got banned off social media for a month, and she lost a massive part of her business. So it is something, like I always say, don't put all your eggs in one basket, spread them out, but have something at the center of that then. Because like you said, you can't do everything, but the little things that you do then will build up into the one thing in the middle, which is your website.
So if you've got, if you're somebody who's like, right, okay, that makes sense, because sending somebody to your website keeps them in your world, not on a social media platform where they might be seeing lots of other people and getting distracted. So if you're like, okay, I need to do this, how can people start to drive, how can we join up our websites to all of the other activities that we're doing?
I think that, like where is the center of it is that your website's got to work for you. So I always say that there's lots of people, they say to me, oh, my website's not getting any traffic. I'm doing all these other things and they're working better, and my website's not really doing anything. But that's because, like you said, they're not connecting the dots of all of it and using that as the hub. They concentrating on all the little bits, but not on the bigger picture. And people come to me and say, how do I increase the traffic to my website? I have to apologise because I had laryngitis last week and my voice is still not proper back yet. So What I say is always look at your website first and make sure there's 8 things, which I will name in a minute, that I always say that you should have on your website that will make that process easier and get your website working for you. So many people pay for a website or create their own website and they invest time and money into it and then just leave it there and expect it to do something for them. Then they just don't touch it. And I always use the thing that you wouldn't pay someone to work in your business like an employee for a year and expect them to do absolutely nothing and have no communication with them and just leave them sit in a corner and just do nothing. People would be really annoyed with that. And it's the same thing on your website. So I always say to people, the first thing I always say is, what is your website mission? What do you want your website to do? And everyone says to me, oh, I wanted to make sales. I wanted to make me money. But how are you going to get it to do that? So basically, it's like the goal of your website. So for me, there's very, very few people who will just go on my website and buy something. So for me, the first step to them working with me is that they might see a bit about me on social media, or I might have met them or something, or they might have read something on my website, and then they think, actually, I want to find out more. So then the goal of my website is to automate the process of booking a call. So that is usually the first step people take to working with me. And you don't have to have one website mission. Like some people will have secondary missions, such as adding them to their mailing list so they can build that relationship if they're not ready to book a call with them and stuff yet. The second thing is clear calls to action. So you might know that you want people to book a call now, but if they don't make that really obvious on your website, I see so many websites. I was looking at a sales page the other day and I was going to say to the lady, oh, you haven't got a button on yet for them to do anything. And she did, but they were squashed in between the text and they were the same colour as the rest of her website and it just completely blended in. And I'm a real scan reader as well, so I like things to jump out at me. So make these calls to action as clear as possible on sales pages, like buy this now, not this, you obviously the name of your product and stuff like that. I always remember on my website many moons ago, I used to have something like, oh, become a website queen or something like that. What did that even mean? Do you know what I mean? If I didn't know what it meant, people are not going to click on it. Just buy my course or whatever it is that it's called, is make things really, really obvious. When people land on your website, you should always give them a call to action. So they could have been following you on social media. They could have been like met you at a networking event and they've just landed on your website and they're ready to take that next step. You don't want them to go looking for it. If they have no idea who you are, that's when we go into what's called the customer journey. So from when they land on your website, you've got to virtually hold their hand and take them around your website. I didn't know this until a couple of months ago, but the menu bar in on your website is very little used. I think only 40% of people, something like that, use the actual menu bar. Google loves internal linking. So, for example, as people go through your page, you take them to another page, you take them to another page, because they stay in for as long as possible on your website. So like on my homepage, I've got a little bit about me and then it says, read more about website Wonder Woman or something like that. I don't know what's my own website. But yeah, so then you constantly taking them, what do they need to know next? What do they need to know next before they can achieve their website mission? And use those call to actions. Every time you give them some other piece of information, use another call to action to, do you want to book a call yet? No, what else do you need to know? Do you want to book a call yet? No, what else do you need to know? And obviously, like I said, if, people might not do it the first time, but then get them on your mailing list and get them that way. Number 4 is know your ideal client, because so many people say to me, I don't know what they want to know next, or I don't know how to talk to them, and it's because they don't know their ideal client. So it's not something that my area of expertise is ideal client, but I know on my website I'm speaking to a certain group of people. So I normally work with like female coaches and business owners. But a lot of people think, oh, right, okay, it's going to put other people off. But I've done about 3 websites for men this year because people have just referred me. So my glittery pink princessy website hasn't put anybody off. And you know what? I think it is my personality, but that loads of people say to me, oh, I work for it because I liked your website. So I'm obviously attracting the people that I like working with as well. I have to change my list now so I remember what number 5 is. Number 5 is showing that you're the expert. So blogging is a brilliant way to driving traffic to your website. I actually had a call with someone this morning who wants to increase her traffic, and we've done a few tweaks. But she said, I'm writing blogs all the time and nobody's viewing them. And we had a look, and she was writing these blog posts with the title was just something random. And I said, what you need to do, you need to go on answerthepublic.com and you need to type in what you do. Like, for example, I would type in WordPress and it will give me all the questions people are asking about WordPress. Because when people are typing things in Google, they don't type in blog titles. They type in questions or symptoms or whatever. So they are the things that are most likely to be found. So I actually, after a session with you the other day, Rachel, I asked GPT, we can never say this, can we? to write me some blog titles. And one of them was 5 strategies to do maximum impact on your website or something like that. And it's one of my most viewed blogs because that must be something people are actually typing in. Questions are really good, like how to create a website. I wrote that a few weeks ago, and that's my second most popular blog. But people type in questions, so when you answer them, you were shown as the expert. But don't forget to put like the call to action at the bottom and get them to actually do something. I'd done a strategy session with a lady before, and she had hundreds of views to her website blog, this blog on her website, and she literally just, everyone dropped off after that because she had no call to action.
So it's like, thanks for the information.
Yeah. What do I do next? 6 is that? I can't count now.
Yeah.
Easy to use and pay. So I was having a conversation with my daughter, and I found this a lot. So my eldest daughter's 24. She doesn't like to speak to people, as in she's got like a bit of social anxiety, that type of stuff. She wants to go on a website and she wants to give people her money. They don't want to take it. They're like, contact me to pay. Let's have a chat. But, you know, if you've got a low cost item, make it easy for people to pay for stuff on your website. Which leads me on to number 7, which is funnels and automation. When people land on my website, they can click to have a chat with me. They can buy things straight away if they want, or they can, you know, if they want to book a call, when they click that button, it gets taken to a calendar where they can book in. It gets added to their calendar. They get a little form to say, what is it you want to talk about? Everything is automated to save me doing it. And with funnels, I've got freebies that they sign up for the freebie, they get added to my mailing list. And then, you know, you start building those relationships. The last thing was to collect email addresses if you don't do anything else on your website. And this is something that you've taught me. They do say that the money's in the list, and it's something I've always left. And now I'm like, I wish I'd done this earlier. Is building up your email list, because that, like we said at the beginning, that's something you own. You've always got a list of all, you know, potential clients. So if you don't do any of these things on your website, at least collect people's email addresses.
Yeah, so the key things are really clear calls to action, and I think that's really fundamental. People forget to put them in the blog post, don't they, like you're saying with that particular client. And then the second one is use it to like connect with people, but also encourage them to grow, like join your email list, because that allows you to like take the relationship to that next level as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think it's just using it. Like when you've got that goal, you know what you want to use your website for, so you can see if that is what it's being used for then. Like I was last weekend, I think I was out and about, which I always am on the weekend, but I had 3 people book in for calls this week. So I wasn't even there, and it all automated, and they're there in my diary ready for this week, and I know what they want to talk about.
And that's the dream, isn't it? That,
Yeah.
the messages that we're pumped all the time is like, automate your business, have clients on tap, all of this stuff, but actually systemizing your website actually makes it happen.
Yes.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much, Lisa. And before we finish today, a question that I ask all of my guests is, obviously you've been in business for a little while now. If you were starting out from scratch, what is the one thing that you would do differently that you'd like to share with the audience?
Not to listen to everyone else. And
Yeah.
I don't mean like you've been in my world a long time. I trust you with judgment, and you were a coach of mine for a long time. And I think that it's so easy now with the amount of people online to just go after that next big thing. Like, this will make you this will do this in your business. And then you try and do all the things and you end up doing nothing. So,
Yes.
stick to those people you really trust and that can really help you in your business, and ignore the rest.
Yeah, it's like something that you can choose to get involved in after you hit your milestones. But
Yeah.
just like what you were sharing about the website is that if you're not using it strategically and having that clear plan about how your website's supporting your business, it's going to be really difficult to go back and actually review whether or not that's working. So I love the idea of your 8 steps and the fact that it's about really ensuring that it's working for you. And the fact that you can be out and you get 3 sales calls booked in is absolutely amazing, Lisa. Very brilliant. For anybody who's like, oh, I like Lisa's very approachable approach to websites and all techie things, how are people best keeping in touch with you, Lisa?
So obviously I'm going to say they need to visit my website.
Yes. And what is your website?
It's wonderfulworldofwebsites.com.
Thank you. Yeah. So on any particular page that you'd like them to head to?
It depends. So I do done for you services, and I do it yourself services, so like courses and tech membership, tech support membership, that type of stuff. But if people are interested in what I've been speaking about today, I do have a free course which is planning your website strategy. And it comes with a lovely little workbook and a series of videos that people can work through to just plan that strategy for their website and get it working for them.
And that's going to be such a brilliant tool for anybody, because you have this no-nonsense approach to techie stuff. So even if you're like, I can't do techie stuff, believe me, when you look at Lisa's content, you will be able to do techie stuff. Thank you so much, Lisa. I really appreciate you being here. And I'm looking forward to seeing how people kind of approach their website differently in the future after listening to your 8 steps. Thank you so much for being here.